Hello and welcome to the Sailing My Magic channel. My name is Duke and I am solo sailing Magic, my 2015 Lagoon catamaran, around the world. This isn't an alien space pod, it's a rambutan, which is a local fruit in French Polynesia. You cut it open and then there's the fruit inside. It looks a little bit like a grape, although it's bigger. Feels kind of slimy on the outside, but not really slimy when you bite into it. It does pop out completely, and then when you bite into it, there is a fairly large seed inside. Tastes kind of like a peach, but it's a very interesting fruit. So I decided to go for another snorkel dive to look for another wreck, and there's some weird light effects in the water at the time, but I did find a wreck there. Remember the bow of the Titanic? This kind of looks like it. It looks like it's a 45-foot old-fashioned sailboat that sunk. The cabin is gone. Now, if you ever come across these things, do not go inside. If you get tangled in those safety lines or the wires or anything in there, you're going to drown. So just look at it from the outside. Now you can see the rudder there. This is a double ender, what they call a double ender boat. In other words, it's pointed at both sides. After I found the wreck, a couple of my friends came over with their snorkels. And we had a nice time there, just looking at the wreck and exploring the area. There was also a wreck dock nearby. Went to explore that a little bit. The wreck was right near a very large rock wall in the water, and I mean it goes from the wall is about 24 feet high, so possibly that ran into it. From there we got in the dinghy and dinghied over up on the reef, and we're looking for the fish and coral up there, seeing what animals we could find. Lots of little fish over there, some nice coral. It looked healthy to me, which is good. There's a few places in the world where the coral is definitely not healthy. There was a turtle there on the reef, and these little cave-like structures in the reef rocks. That's where you find lobster. I didn't find any that day, but lobster come out at night, so I don't doubt that there's some in there somewhere. Might have to come back for that. I need to check the season. That's an eagle ray. They have a pointy beak and they have the spots on them, so they're pretty easy to identify. It was a fun time snorkeling the reef and just exploring up there. You can walk on that sand in the parts where it's shallow enough. Then the next day I took a drive over to Papeete, and they had one of the traditional catamarans there. Has an icon on the top. Now these lines in the wood are where they cut the wood so that they could bend it and make it curve like that. It's a very interesting process. Notice they have sort of a cabin there and two masts. Almost looks like a modern sailing ship. I mean, modern catamarans use a lot of the same designs as this, and no wonder they were able to go all around exploring. It's a very interesting process how they build these things. And it's double-ended also. The thing goes up and it has the icons on both ends. I went to Papeete looking for some more parts, and I found some that I had been looking for a very long time. It's a beautiful modern city. Now it's time for the sailor's tradition of the sundowner. Cheers!